Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be comparing these two softwares. This is STYLE3D and CLO3D. So if you are a designer and you are trying to get into digital fashion and you are not sure which software to use, we are going to be comparing the two, and this is from experience. I was able to put out my digital collection using STYLE3D, even though I learned digital fashion using CLO3D. So I'm here to tell you the differences in the two. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you're old, thank you, like the video and share. So let's begin. The first point of comparison is going to be the user interface. If you're a beginner, I would suggest that you use STYLE3D. STYLE3D has a much more easier user interface and the tools are easier to learn and to use. However, on the other hand, CLO3D is a little bit complex, but it's very replicant of the computer aided design, like CAD, right? So whatever it is that you're supposed to do in the digital field, you're going to be able to transfer it directly into the computer, and you're going to be able to make those patterns. So CLO3D is very good with being precise and being technical, and the user interface is much more complex than STYLE3D. So let's get to the next comparison. Of course, the next comparison is being pricing, which is important. So for CLO, you can have for both of them, you can have a free trial period. But the difference with STYLE3D is going to give you access to all the most of the tools in the app. It's in the program, sorry. It's going to give you all the tools that you need. And CLO3D, on the other hand, you have to pay for it in order to access the tools. So in pricing, CLO3D is $50 per month for individuals. I'm not so sure how much it is for companies or whatever, but for individuals. And then if you're paying yearly, it's going to be $450. And then when it comes to STYLE3D, you can still use STYLE3D even without paying, even without you can still use all the tools. However, you cannot export the files, use the files elsewhere. That's the catch. So STYLE3D is $40 per month for a month, and then that would be like $380 for a whole year. So in comparison, obviously, if you're starting out, I would advise you to start with STYLE3D because first of all, it's much more user-friendly, and it's cost-effective. And keep in mind, you guys, there isn't such a big difference with these two programs. They are literally the same. It's only that one is more advanced than the other one. STYLE3D is a much newer one, and it's a little bit copying the other one, I must say. But you'll see for yourself. Try it out and let me know. So let's go to the other difference. So STYLE3D, when it comes to rendering, it's much faster. It has a much faster render cycle, whatever they call it, and you're able to see in real time quickly how the HDRI, like the environment and how everything is going to look of your garment. And CLO3D, on the other hand, the rendering is very perfect, it's very realistic. You can see the grains and the fibers in the fabrics if you really zoom in. So the simulation and the rendering of CLO is much more advanced. So you're able to put out work, or you're able to put out visuals that are very enticing, and it has a vast variety of environments that you can work with, and also it's easy to work the camera. However, rendering takes long. I don't know if you have any ideas on how to set the camera in CLO3D, on how to decrease the render time. Please let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so if you want to quickly render and nothing complex, you can use STYLE3D. However, from my experience using Blender, STYLE3D tends to have a much more easier, like when you transfer alembics, when you transfer FBXs, it's much more user-friendly. It's easier to connect in the nodes than it was for me in CLO. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. So let's go to the other difference. So the other difference is important, is very important to fashion designers, is the vast variety of fabrics and fabric collections that CLO3D has. And most of them are very, very realistic. Now, STYLE3D is only trying to catch up, but CLO3D has so many fabric simulations that you're able to see in real time and how they behave as compared to Style3D. I just thought that that's important to people who are very specific in finding the exact grams, the grain, like you know, everything, the composition of a fabric. I thought that would be important for you, so I thought to say. If you're still here and you haven't subscribed, guys, please subscribe. And I want my videos to reach more people who are interested in digital fashion and those who are already in this world as well. So yeah, please subscribe. Okay, the other point of comparison is the AI automation. That means the Adobe Illustrator, or if you're using a different type of program, that kind of illustration is much easier and much more automated in Style3D as opposed to CLO3D. For some reason, it's much easier to transfer the 2D patterns from Style3D than it is from CLO3D into what is it called? Adobe Illustrator. So keep that in mind. I don't know if you have reached that far, but when you are trying to make the real patterns into real life, that's going to be important. So Style3D has a much more easier like directional, like it has a much more straightforward path as opposed to CLO, where you have to go through different channels in order for you to get the patterns. The last point of comparison would be collaboration. With CLO3D, you are able to do real-time collaboration, meaning if you're a team and you're working on a project, then you can in real time, for a limited time, you can work on the project together. As opposed to Style3D, it's based off of the cloud, so someone has to be connected to your cloud and then maybe you share the file. I haven't used that, but that's just a point for teams if you're working in teams. So I think that's all. If there is a point of comparison you would want me to compare between the two programs, please let me know in the description. And guys, please check out my collection. I made it through digital fashion. I made it through CLO3D and Blender. If you haven't yet, check it out. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye, until next time.